This video is intended to provide you with the information necessary to successfully enroll a small group in healthcare coverage options through MNSure's Small Business Health Options Program, or SHOP. This video will address 5 general areas. First, we'll provide an overview of MNSure Shop, and then we'll review benefits to using MNSure Shop. Next, we'll review the enrollment requirements, and then spend the majority of the time explaining the enrollment process. Finally, the last 2 pages of this deck has resources, including links to helpful information. We'll now review what SHOP is, which carriers are participating in 2015, and plan levels of coverage. MNSure is an exchange or health insurance marketplace made available to Minnesotans as a result of the Affordable Care Act. The website, specifically the small business section, has all the information needed for small employers to review and select health plan options available in their area and offer them to their employees. On the small business homepage is a list of navigation links. They provide all the information needed to enroll a small group and manage enrollment changes such as new hires and terminations. One of the most common inquiries we receive is, how do I get rates and review plans? Our website has a shopping tool where you can review MNSure Shop medical and dental plans and rates without enrolling. Enrollment does not begin until MNSure Shop receives an employer application. There is a 6-minute tutorial available on our website that explains how to use the shopping tool. In 2015, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Blue Plus, and Medica offer health plans. There are also 3 dental carriers, Delta, Dentegra, and Guardian, with a total of 22 dental plans available. We strongly encourage employers to consider offering dental because 1, it's a great value-added option for employees. 2, there are no contribution requirements for employers. And 3, there are great options from which to choose. Please note that MNSure is required to offer standalone dental plans, but individuals and small groups are not required to purchase those plans, even if their medical plan does not include embedded pediatric dental. In 2015, there are a total of 58 medical plans available through MNSure Shop. All exchange plans are organized by metal level: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. On the right side column in yellow, you'll see that there are 10 bronze plans available, 20 in each of the silver and gold, and 8 platinum plans. The state of Minnesota is divided into 9 regions or rating areas, and not all 58 plans are available in all 9 regions. Next, we'll review the benefits of using MNSure Shop to offer health plan coverage to small business employees. There are a number of benefits to small employers in using MNSure Shop. Employers can offer choice to their employees and still manage their budget by selecting a reference plan. This is similar to a carrier's use of a base plan, except that the reference plan applies to all the medical plans the employer offers across all carriers. Additionally, the employer can select any one of the medical plans they are offering as their reference plan, not just the lowest priced plan, and it is that plan against which the contribution rate is applied. We'll review the reference plan in more detail shortly. Employers can offer their employees a variety of plan choices, not just from one medical carrier, but from multiple carriers and both medical and dental. Employers can get invaluable support from MNSure certified agents and brokers. The employer application includes a section to note agent broker information, and that is what SHOP uses to send the information to the carrier. No additional forms are required. The website allows employers to review plans and rates and fill out one application to apply. Once enrolled, they'll receive a monthly email with their invoice and details, and electronic payment is an option. Finally, for employers who qualify, tax credits are currently available for 2 consecutive years. Although the following can change, the current requirements to qualify for a tax credit are that employers must purchase plans through MNSure, have fewer than 25 full-time equivalent employees who earn an annual average wage of $50,000 or less, and the employer must contribute a minimum of 50% towards the premium. For taxable organizations, tax credits of up to 50% of employer-paid premiums are available, and for tax-exempt organizations, it's up to 35%. Tax credits are reconciled via IRS Form 8941. There is a field titled Marketplace Identifier at the top of the form, and this should be left blank. There are no 1095-A forms for small groups. Those are only for individual consumers. These are current requirements. Please use your tax consultant. They will know of any regulatory changes related to possible tax credits. Our website, as well as the resources page of this deck, includes a link to the IRS Small Business Tax Credit page, which you may find helpful. Healthcare.gov also has a shop tax credit estimator on their website, and we've provided a link here. There are a number of benefits to agents and brokers to use MNSure Shop. Agents and brokers have a dedicated MNSure Shop broker line with shop-trained staff. Both employers and brokers also have a direct contact with shop employer support staff. Using MNSure Shop is simple. The first step is to identify the plans that an employer would like to offer their employees. The second step is for the employer to complete the employer application and return it to MNSure Shop. It includes agent of record information, so no separate agent of record form is required. The third step is for employees to complete the employee application, and either the employer or the broker agent will collect and return them to MNSure Shop. MNSure Shop is actively engaged with broker stakeholders to identify and implement value-added processes. We are developing programs for broker referrals and new business opportunities, and we provide individualized support as needed. Being MNSure certified offers the agent or broker the opportunity to sell on exchange, which, with just one application, allows them to sell both medical and dental plans. Enrollment requirements. In this segment, we'll review the eligibility requirements that small businesses must meet to enroll via SHOP, as well as the required contribution and participation requirements, and the small business enrollment period. All employer applications are reviewed to verify the group is eligible to enroll in SHOP. If there are questions regarding a group's eligibility, they will be notified. Generally speaking, to be eligible to enroll in SHOP, the employer must have their principal business address in Minnesota and not be owned by a controlling entity that has more than 50 employees under its control. Currently, in Minnesota, an employee refers to headcount. In 2015, small businesses must have between 1 and 50 employees who worked at least 20 or more hours each week during the previous year. If the employer is a sole proprietor, they must have at least one other employee who works at least 20 hours a week. Employee count does not include temporary, seasonal, or substitute basis employees, retirees, independent contractors, disabled former employees, or individuals on COBRA or state continuation. In 2016, it is anticipated that the definition of small employer in Minnesota will include those groups with 1 through 100 employees. Finally, businesses must offer health care coverage to all full-time employees, which is defined by the ACA as those working on average of 30 or more hours a week. The employer must also meet certain contribution and participation requirements. To be eligible to enroll via SHOP, the employer must contribute a minimum of 50% of the employee's premium. The employer can determine if they will offer coverage to only full-time employees, which includes those working 30 or more hours a week, or if they will include part-time as well, which includes those working 20 to 29 hours a week. As is the case with direct small group policies, the employer must meet a minimum participation rate of 75%. In other words, 75% of the employees being offered coverage must either enroll or have an eligible waiver. Eligible waivers include other group coverage, such as through a spouse's job, government-sponsored plans, such as Medicare and Medicaid, and military-sponsored coverage, such as TRICARE or VA. Ineligible waivers include individual coverage and Minnesota Care. There is a special enrollment period from November 15th through December 15th, during which a small group can enroll and the minimum contribution and participation requirements are waived. However, please note that to be eligible for the tax credit, the employer must contribute a minimum of 50% towards the employee premium. For small employers, there is no predetermined open enrollment period in which they can enroll. They can enroll year-round in any one month of their choosing. However, the effective date will always be the first of the month. After an employer selects a month in which to enroll, their future open enrollment period will be their renewal time period, which is a 90-day lead time to their renewal date. Next, we'll review the MNSure Shop new group enrollment process. To enroll a new group in MNSure Shop, there is a 5 to 6 week lead time. For example, if a group would like to enroll on August 1st, their employer application must be completed accurately and received by MNSure Shop by June 22nd. Employer application due dates are available on our website. Please note that MNSure Shop processes and timelines are often different than those you may be familiar with from working directly with carriers. The enrollment process involves 3 basic steps. First, plans will be reviewed and selected. Second, the employer will complete their application and return it to MNSure, either via secure email or via US mail. We'll discuss secure emails momentarily. Upon receipt, MNSure Shop will verify the employer's eligibility to enroll via Shop, and an email is returned that guides the employee enrollment process. Third, employees will complete the employee application, and either the employer or their broker or agent will collect them and return them to MNSure Shop. Steps 1 through 3 complete the new group enrollment process, but we have added a step 4 to address managing ongoing enrollment changes, such as adding new hires, processing cancellations or terminations, and updating dependent information. As stated a moment ago, the first step of the new group enrollment process begins with knowing which plans the small employer would like to offer their employees. Brokers and agents sometimes have their own quoting tool available, but for brokers and agents that do not, and for employers, MNSure Shop has a shopping tool available on the website. This is an image of the shopping tool. It does not require any registration or identity proofing, and with a county, effective date of coverage, and employee dates of birth, anyone can use the tool to see which plans are available and what the rates are for each plan. The shopping tool also includes links to each policy's Summary of Benefits and Coverage, or SBC, which summarizes the benefit design of each plan option. Finally, the shopping tool includes a link to the provider networks. Enrollment does not begin just by using the shopping tool. It begins only after MNSure Shop receives an employer application. The shopping tool includes instructions at the top of the page, but there is also a 6-minute tutorial available on our website. One of the benefits for an employer to use Shop is the use of a reference plan. A reference plan helps the employer budget for their healthcare costs and allows them to offer greater choice to their employees. If the employer is only offering one plan option and the minimum 50% contribution, they'll know even before their employees enroll what their financial responsibility is. But if they are offering multiple plan options, they won't know until after their employees make their enrollment decisions what that 50% comes to. Again, to help the employer manage their budget, they'll select a reference or base plan against which their contribution amount is applied. The reference plan is different than a base plan in that the employer can select any of their plan options as their reference plan. The next slide explains in detail how the reference plan concept works. In this example, at the very top in the slim blue box, we note that the employer has chosen the Silver plan to be their reference plan. They have also decided to offer the minimum contribution rate of 50% as noted in the center column. In the far left column are the plans that the employer is offering each employee. In this case, the employer is offering one plan from each of the 4 metal levels of bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. On the top half is Employee A, a 27-year-old who does not use tobacco. If that employee chooses the Silver plan, which carries a $400 premium, the employer will pay 50% or $200, and the employee pays the other $200. However, this employee decides they don't need that much coverage and they elect to buy down to the Bronze plan, which carries a $300 premium. The employer still pays 50% of the Silver plan premium, or $200, but because the Bronze plan carries a $300 premium, the employee only pays $100. That monthly premium is collected via pre-tax payroll deduction. At the bottom is Employee B, a 56-year-old who does not use tobacco. Their premium for the Silver plan is $600. If they choose that plan, the employer pays 50% of it, or $300, and the employee pays the other $300. However, this employee requires a more robust policy, and they buy up to the Platinum plan, which carries a $900 premium. In this case, the employer still only pays 50% of the Silver plan, or $300, and the employee pays the difference between that and the cost of the $900 Platinum plan, or $600. After you've identified which plans to offer, the second step is to complete the employer application and return it to MNSure Shop. The employer application is available on our shop web pages, and there is a link to it included in the resources pages of this deck. All fields on the application are required unless noted as optional. To avoid delays, which may result in a later enrollment date, it's important that all required fields are completed on the application. Because it contains personally identifiable information, or PII, it must be returned via secure email or U.S. mail. There are several fields on the employer application for which we frequently receive questions. These include all the questions in the eligibility section in Step 3. These are the questions asked upon initial enrollment as well as each year during renewal, and they provide us the information required to verify eligibility. We also require that all employees' annualized wages are included in the employee census, which is on Step 4 of the application. This information is required by the Internal Revenue Service. Finally, if the employer is offering more than one medical plan option, the reference plan must be noted on the top of the medical plan options page, which is page 6. The use of a reference plan only applies to medical plans and not dental. The application cannot be processed without this information. These items are noted on an enrollment guide available on Broker One Stop, and there is a link to the guide in the resources section of this deck. To finish Step 2, return the employer application via your own secure email or respond to a secure email that we've sent you. You can request a secure email by either sending an email to the MNSure mailbox or requesting one via the web inquiry form on our website. The secure email you receive will look like this. Ignore the "To view your message" instructions and instead double-click on the button titled Message.html and follow the prompts. MNSure Shop uses Microsoft Host encryption. If you already have a Microsoft password, use that. If not, you'll need to create a password. If you have trouble creating the password or opening up the secure email, send an email to MNSure Shop and we'll assist you. Upon receipt and review of the employer application, Shop will notify the employer and their agent or broker via email of their eligibility status. There are 3 different options. The first possibility is that the employer will receive a conditional eligibility notice informing them that they have been determined to be eligible to enroll via SHOP. Final eligibility will be determined after all employee applications are received and we verify the group meets the 75% participation rate. The second possibility is that we will send the employer a request for more information. The third possibility is that the notice will inform the employer that they did not meet the eligibility requirements and their application to enroll in SHOP has been denied. The notice includes appeal instructions and they are available on our website as well. If the employer is conditionally eligible, they will receive one more email to finalize the enrollment process. Employee enrollment instructions are included in a final email to the employer and includes two attachments. The first is a health coverage summary, which is an opportunity for the employer to review their selections one last time and notify SHOP immediately if there are any discrepancies. This is important because once employee open enrollment begins, no changes can be made. These include things such as plans offered, waiting period, and percent contribution. The final email also includes a letter that the employer can forward to employees with employee enrollment instructions. The letter is written by SHOP on behalf of the employer and it should be forwarded to employees. The letter includes instructions for them to review the health plan options being offered as well as a link to the employee application. New hires will need these instructions to enroll, so it's important to keep a copy of this letter. If the email is misplaced, send an email to MNSure Shop requesting a copy of it. The third step of the new group enrollment process is for employees to complete a hard copy of the employee application and return it to their employer. Because the employee application contains personally identifiable information, or PII, it must be returned via secure email or US mail. The application includes an area in which the medical and dental plan selections can be noted, as well as any dependents to be added to the coverage. All fields on the application are required unless noted as optional. SHOP is required to report all data elements to the IRS via the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. To facilitate an efficient enrollment process, we've created a MNSure Shop new group enrollment guide that can be found on Broker One Stop. The guide includes all the steps required to enroll a new group, as well as links to the shopping tool so that you can review plans and rates, employer and employee applications, invoice payment information, links to web pages regarding coverage changes, and finally, how to contact MNSure Shop. Please use the guide to better understand the process and to avoid sending in documents with missing information, which can lead to enrollment delays and, in turn, potentially result in the employer's effective date being delayed. During the enrollment process, employer applications are used to verify the Minnesota required 75% participation rate. Additional information may be requested to verify eligibility. A typical example of this is a payroll report. After the review is completed, the employer is notified via email of the final eligibility determination. If ineligible, an appeal can be filed if the employer wishes to pursue this option. If eligible, an invoice will be sent and is payable no later than the 25th of that month. Invoices and accompanying detail are securely emailed around the 5th of each month. If needed, employers can request paper copies. Payment is due in-house on the 25th of that month. There is an electronic payment option, a link for which is included on the invoice. Electronic payment includes e-check and credit card payment. All invoices must be paid in full. Any credits that need to be applied will be reflected on a future invoice. If we have not received payment by the 25th of the month, a reminder is sent to the employer and their agent or broker is copied. Once enrolled, you will notify MNSure Shop when you have enrollment changes. For employee changes such as a birth, death, adoption, new hire, and employee cancellation or termination, notify SHOP immediately upon knowledge of the event using the Life Event form on our website. Our resources page at the end of this deck also includes a link to that form. Please do not send enrollment changes to the carrier, and do complete and return the form within 30 days of the event, not the effective date. For employer changes such as an address or contact person change, or if the employer wishes to cancel their MNSure coverage, submit the employer change form. This form can be found on our SHOP web pages, and there is a link to it in the resources pages of this deck. Regarding new hires, please do not wait until the waiting period is met to submit paperwork. The effective date of coverage is always calculated based on the group's waiting period and coverage effective date, but the form must be submitted within 30 days of the new hire date to ensure enrollment can be completed. If the paperwork is submitted after 30 days from the date of the event, the employee cannot be enrolled and will need to wait until the next open enrollment period to enroll, or if and when they qualify for a special enrollment period. It's important to note that MNSure Shop is not a COBRA administrator, and for these questions, we need to defer employers to the continuation and COBRA benefits administrator. The current process for supporting these employees through MNSure Shop is as follows. As soon as the employee is terminated, notify MNSure by completing a life event form available on our website. All SHOP invoices must be paid in full and will reconcile premium adjustments on a future invoice. COBRA and continuation rights are offered by the employer, agent or broker, or a COBRA administrator. If the employee elects COBRA, the employer will submit another life event form to MNSure Shop requesting that the employee be reinstated. MNSure Shop will enroll the employee in the same plan they were previously enrolled in, but with a 0% employer contribution. The employee's premium will appear on the invoice, and it is paid by the employer when they submit their invoice payment. We do not accept separate payments for COBRA enrollees. Please use the links provided on this page as needed for guides, forms, and the shopping tool. This page includes a link to the 2-page enrollment guide, which we strongly encourage you to reference when enrolling a new group, and the IRS Small Business Tax Credit information. It also includes the phone number and email address for MNSure Shop support, and finally, it details where the different types of inquiries should be directed, either to the carrier or to MNSure Shop. Thank you.